What are the signs of a sensitive person? And is that really a good thing or a bad thing? So if you just see me for the first time, or if you're just joining us for the first time, my name is Patrick Cynthia. I'm a journalist and a mental health activist. And on this channel, I talk a whole lot about fashion and mental health. If that sounds like something you like, click that subscription button. Today, we are going to be talking about highly sensitive people. Being a sensitive person, is it good or bad? Have you ever been around someone who is so sensitive? Or are you even a sensitive person? Don't worry, we'll know everything in this video. As this video progresses, I'm going to be using the term HSP instead of highly sensitive people. I feel like it's a bit too long, so I'm going to just cut it short into HSP. I hope you get what I mean. Hope that's cool. So an HSP is someone who is highly conscious or seems to be aware of every little details happening around them. Let's take, for instance, you and someone who has HSP, like a highly sensitive person, you guys are seeing a movie together. A part of the movie is emotional, but it's not so emotional to make you cry. But you see a highly sensitive person all tearing up with the tissues and all that, and you'll be like, you see, they are easily overwhelmed and they are easily affected by their environment, by people's reaction, by moods, by everything. They can easily get affected by that more than someone who is not highly sensitive. They might also get moved by acts, music, or even movies. After studying about HSP, I realized how negative people view the word sensitive, when this can actually be a helpful and positive quality. So as a child, people who are highly sensitive are often viewed by their parents, teachers as being shy, timid, or extremely sensitive. So it's very natural for me to say that this is not a disorder. It's a natural trait that occurs in about 15 to 20% of population. So it's not a mental disorder. There are people who are just naturally emotional. There are people who are just naturally sensitive. So this is a situation whereby the nervous system is more sensitive than it is for others. Now this is what causes the emotional downpour, even when it's not so emotional. For instance, the example I gave in the movie, like you guys can be seeing the movie together and the movie is not so emotional. You are not crying, but a highly sensitive person is all tearing up, and you know, this is because their nervous system is highly sensitive than yours. If you're a sensitive person while growing up, people will often see you as a crybaby, or they'll be like, why are you so emotional? Why are you so sensitive? I'm sure you must have heard that like quite a number of times. So Ellen N. Aaron, she is a great woman. I so much respect her. She wrote the book HSP, and she seems to be the queen when it comes to HSP education. So it was her book I was doing most of my research on, and other books, but mostly her books. I was concentrating on that one because it has a lot of knowledge which I'm going to impact or share with you guys on this video today. So I'm going to be sharing with you the acronym she used in order to help mental health activists and mental health therapists, professionals, and whoever is in that field. So the acronym is called DOES, D-O-E-S. D stands for depth of processing. And the way this is being described is that we often tend to think things through more thoroughly. You know, thinking about our day, the things we've done, the things we've said, and how this could affect someone else. We look into every detail so deeply. So we want to make sure that we're getting every little details out of it. I can remember vividly while I was in primary school, I would do something in class, in my classroom, and my head teacher would be like, take her to the library and let her stay there alone. For her, she thinks it's more like a punishment, while for me, I actually enjoyed every bit of it because I love being alone. There's just something about that, my alone time, that I love to just wander around in my head. You know, after a while, she stopped because she noticed that that punishment wasn't working. Because every time I come out of the library, I'm always looking more happier. So let's go to the O. So the O stands for overstimulation. Now I need you to focus on the O because I feel like this is like the most reviewed trait, like it's the most noticeable one. So overstimulation is really common for HSP because the more we deeply process every detail, like those little informations, like the people around us, our environment, everything that we're doing, what is going on, what is not going on, no wonder we get like overly stimulated. The E stands for emotional reactivity and empathy. Emotions. You know, emotion is needed in order to process anything deeply. Emotion is what drives us, it's what motivates us. And the people with this trait, they tend to tap into other people's mood. Sometimes if we do not uphold proper boundaries and check in on ourselves, then we can take on other people's mood and how they are feeling. Especially if you're doing anything creative or working with people who are creative, or especially a therapist. But you should know that it doesn't come without its own vulnerability. If those people that you're communicating with at that time are in some kind of pace where they are sad or they're in a huge pain, they're distressed about something, it's very likely and possible that you are also going to feel the same way. It's highly possible that you're going to take up that mood because you feel emotionally attached to them. I can't even imagine how this emotional connection can be so tiring sometimes, right? So notice this if you find yourself taking on other people's problem, like you start feeling their pain. This could be an indication of this trait. The last trait is S, which stands for sensing the subtle stimuli. Are you someone who pays so much attention to little details that other people don't even pay attention to? I mean, that's wonderful. That's amazing. If those little details that you are paying attention to are what makes life beautiful and pleasant for you, and you enjoy it. I feel like I'm in this category because I love like observing people. I love looking at their facial expressions and I love reading meaning to it. Not like I love it, I just do it naturally. It could also be some of the details you could be picking up with could be maybe some slight change in your favorite dish. Maybe your favorite dish could be a very nice vegetable soup and you eat it every time, but right now there's a slight change. Other people might not notice, but you definitely noticed. Yes, we noticed because we pay attention to little details. And most times we can use this information to help ourselves or help others. I mean, think about it. If we notice that someone is sad before other people, we can get close to them to offer our help or support. We can also notice when people need space, when they like us and when they don't like us, when there is a slight change in their character, and we can adjust accordingly even before the person notices. Why is this? Because we are highly sensitive and we pay attention to little details. As I was studying about this, I couldn't help but notice that all the traits work in two ways. Number one is that they can cause us to be overwhelmed and need alone time. And number two is that this trait can also help us to protect ourselves. This is what I love about Ellen Aaron's book, because she tells you about a problem and she tells you how it can also be a blessing in disguise. On this video today, I'm going to be giving you 3 management tips. Number 1, figure out what turns you on and what turns you off. By that I mean what triggers you. Yes, what triggers you? What are your triggers? Hanging out in a crowd, or busy areas, or strong smells, or maybe all of the above. The more we know more about ourselves, the better. It is better to be aware than not being aware, because only then can we find ways to avoid those upsetting stimuli. If you hate strong smells, go for softer smell. If you hate going to a place with so much crowd, then go to a place with less crowd. Number 2, appreciate yourself more. Say nice things to yourself, like self-affirmation, self-talks. Say more positive things to yourself. How often do you do that? And do you always blame yourself for every little thing that happened to other people? Do you even pay attention to yourself? Now pay attention to this, especially if you're a highly sensitive person. I know that the world we live in today can be quite upsetting and weird, especially when things don't go according to your plan. Everything is just going upside down, left and right. It can be so weird and annoying. But my darling, we cannot control the universe even if we wanted to. So the best thing, the only word we can control is the word inside of us. So make it a beautiful place. My last tip, but not the least, taking notes. How often do you journal? How often do you write things down? How often do you just bring out your notepad, your laptop, your computer, or whatever your writing material is, and just write down those thoughts that have been pounding on your head? How often do you just bring it out by writing them down? For me, this has been a great way to get thoughts out of my head. Honestly, journaling is a great way to keep your head less cloudy, because at the end of the day, you will end up feeling way much better. Also, there are a lot of exercises that could help you feel a whole lot better. So if you want to know, let me know in the comment section down below, okay? So if you found this video helpful, please hit the subscription button, and also let me know in the comment section if there are more videos like you want me to make in the future. Like, what topic, what do you want me to talk about? Let me know in the comment section. Ciao.